Throughout this course, I've had to understand and utilize multiple media technologies. Each program and item had a place in assisting me in researching, planning, and producing my own short film. A key site that I used consistently was WordPress. This blogging site gave me the capability to document the entire process of creating my production. From the research to the evaluations, it can all be seen on my blog. The various formatting options allowed me to personalize my blog and present my work in a clean, concise manner. I could implicate videos, images, and documents to complement my writing. These additions would give the viewers a more complete understanding of my thoughts and progression. To embed videos into WordPress, I first had to upload them to YouTube. I used this platform to keep all of my videos for my project. This also gave me the availability to refer back to my work from any device, which is much more efficient than carrying them all around on an external hard drive. YouTube also acted as a useful research tool in the early days of my project. I searched for conventions and examples of horror and thriller productions. I learned valuable techniques, including the scar wax makeup effect. I also learned tips on lighting, camera angles, and stability methods to help with my production. This is where I gained the idea to make a pseudo shoulder rig that allowed for a variety of camera movements I would not have otherwise been able to obtain. My primary editing platform was Final Cut Pro 10. Here I would assemble and alter all of my footage and audio for my animatic, first and final edit, as well as these evaluations. I find the system itself so much easier to use than the alternative. In this version of Final Cut, I can edit audio, video, effects, and anything else I would need, all in one client. It is compact and easy to use. Another benefit of the system is that I have a vast library of sound and visual effects to select from. These were all at my disposal for use and manipulation, and I used these royalty-free items liberally. However, I did not have the access to full soundtracks in my library. For that, I would need GarageBand. GarageBand had a relatively small part in my project, compared to other technologies. Although the small role it played was crucial, I used it purely to compose the soundtrack for my film. I also have the access to royalty-free mixers on GarageBand, but I want to create something completely original. Inspired by John Carpenter's soundtracks, I made good use of the virtual keyboard. This allowed me to compose with strings, synthesizers, and other instruments. I managed to replicate both dark and shrill tones that are present in his productions, notably Halloween. I also took some inspiration from Martin O'Donnell, who composed the Halo 3 soundtrack. In this, dark tones and heavy bass are used effectively to manipulate the immersive atmosphere. This is something I also attempted to recreate. And, once complete, I exported my track to iTunes to then be edited in Final Cut. Prior to all of this, I needed a script for myself and my actors. The program I used to create this was ScriptBuddy. I was able to produce a realistic looking script that would be invaluable to us on the filming days. To present the script on my blog, I uploaded the file to Script, where I could embed it into my blog for viewing. In terms of hardware, I used a Tevion camera tripod to stabilize my shots. I actually didn't use it much as a tripod traditionally would have. Instead, I mocked up a pseudo shoulder rig with it. I was able to use this reformed equipment to achieve stabilized tracking shots, as well as some camera angles I would not have otherwise been able to have achieved. Although these shots are not all featured in my final product, they were useful for the first edit. For some shots, I chose not to use the tripod as equipment necessarily, but as mise-en-scène. When the torture scene is drawing to a close, the protagonist mounts his camera on the same tripod before he collects the chainsaw, so it doubled up as a prop as well. My camera was a Hitachi D36FT HD digital camcorder. It is my own personal camera, and I chose to use it this year for simplicity. However, as it would turn out, it probably wasn't the right hardware for the job. As I was making a horror, dark scenes were inevitable. Unfortunately, my camera wasn't suitable for this light quality. The result was I had a fair few shots that were poor quality. Surprisingly, the torture scene wasn't a huge issue. This is possibly due to the fact that I paid more attention to lighting on this set. I also think that the camera picks up LED light better than it does warmer colours, like in the lounge. Otherwise, the camera was compact and very useful. I didn't always get poor quality shots. Natural lighting seems to be where I got the best quality. And the 16GB SD card was plenty for one day of filming. For my film poster, I took the photos of my protagonist with a Nikon D90. I then chose the photos that worked best together and imported them into Photoshop CS5. I found this platform counterintuitive to begin with, but I eventually got used to it. There were plenty of tools and effects at my disposal to produce a professional quality poster. For my billing block and tagline, I ventured onto DaFont, in which I selected a few fonts that were suitable, and imported them into Photoshop for use. I used InDesign to construct my film review. I was more familiar with this program because I'd used Publisher in the past, and I found the two quite similar. The precision was vital to my replication of an Empire review. To imitate each minute detail, I had to explore the variety of tools, all of which was a learning process. However, I did become quite fluent with the program. One area I did find easy was the arrangement of text boxes, and the ability to link text boxes saved a lot of time. Ultimately, I was able to use InDesign to create a believable Empire review to complement my short film and my film poster.